Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's live. I'm so excited to have you here to talk about what we're going to do in 2024 to help grow our business, to learn, to create, to expand. There are so many people already who joined the live on Zoom and on Facebook who's telling us their word of the year. So I am really excited because there are a lot of things that I want to share today, specifically about how to achieve our best year in 2024. Because in the past, have you guys ever started to set goals, specifically SMART goals? Has anyone heard of SMART goals before? Because I certainly have. And there's an acronym, there's a word to every single letter in SMART to help us make better goals. But I think more so than just setting goals. Okay, so a lot of people are saying yes, Sylvia's no. So SMART stands for, does anybody want to let me know? There are a few people who have heard of that before. Okay. Specific. Okay. So the S in SMART is specific. The M is measurable. Measurable. A stands for attainable. R, realistic. And then T is, I think, the most important, time bound. Yep. So we need all of this broken down. And I have tried SMART goals in the past. And while it has helped me to get to where we wanted to be, I feel like it didn't make me a well-rounded person. So I borrow some of the ideas that I'm going to talk about today from some of the biggest names. You probably heard of her, Mel Robbins. She is a speaker, a motivational coach. She is wonderful. And if you haven't heard of her yet, please check her out. She's wonderful. She has a podcast. And I borrow some of her ideas to kind of put together what we're going to be talking about so that it can relate to our Amazon business. So the first thing that we want to talk about is what happened last year. So reflecting on 2023 is something that I did already in December, but it's not too late. If you guys haven't done it already, go through some of the pictures on your phone and see what happened every single month. What are you proud of? What do you think your struggles were? For me, I write everything in my journal. So I keep a lot of brainstorming and brain dumps, and all of my schedule, everything is done in my journal. So I was able to go back and I found a common theme with all of my pages that I went through in 2023. One of the things that I saw was that I kept on saying I was not focused, I was scattered, I was confused, and I was like, but we did so much in 2023 that we should be proud of. So as I was going through this exercise, I realized that we have done a lot of traveling, especially for work. If you guys have been to one of our local sourcing trips, you know that we have been going around all over the country to help some of the local source products. And while that was a wonderful experience, I felt that we were stretching ourselves a little bit too thin because we were also trying to squeeze in some family vacation. And because I was already planning all of these trips for work, I felt like even when I was on our personal trips, I was still doing work. And that wasn't something that I really meant to do, but it just happened. I know it feels like a first world problem. I get to travel a lot, but now I'm complaining about it. But I'm not complaining. I just think that there was a lesson for me to learn from that, and is that I need to be present with my children. And the way that I'm able to do that is just to put away work when I need to, when I'm with them. And a lot of you guys tell me that I'm so relatable. And I think one of the reasons is because I'm not any bro on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube that shows off like my fancy cars or house. I have 3 children, and we built this business up from scratch almost 9 years ago now, which is crazy to think about. But we started on Amazon in 2014, and we have, 2015. 2014 was when we got married. The year after that, I found Amazon FBA. And we started our journey literally just from going to stores and scanning items. I'm not going to tell you to go to stores to scan products because things change on Amazon. Do we all agree on that? And we need to adapt to the changes and figure out what is the best way for us to succeed, okay? If we continue doing the same things, we're just going to get the same results. Does everybody agree on that? And I had to kind of realize that the hard way because I had some systems set up for myself. And I was like, okay, I'm going to follow this to the T. What I'm going to do better is just to continue doing what I'm doing, but increase it, add more hours, add more work. And it didn't always equate to more income and more happiness. So I found out that the best way for me to achieve the ultimate best year was to focus and realize that what is it that I want for myself. So we have mainly 5 different areas in our life that we all need to pay attention to. One of it mainly is, of course, money, success, and how you're doing with your finance, right? And we will talk about that a lot. But the other 4 areas of your life that you should also pay attention to, and I do encourage you to go back and revisit these areas in your life and give it a rating. Like, what do you think it is from a score of 1 to 10? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What do you think your score is in 2023 in these areas of your life? And I'll name them. The first is health and wellness. So how have you been showing up for your body, for exercising, for making time for mindfulness? Maybe it is stretching, doing yoga. I think that in the past year, I have been doing a lot for my health and wellness, because I think if your body is not doing well, the rest of your life will probably follow along, right? So think about, give yourself a score. What do you think your health and wellness is? Career, money, and school. So that's something that we're going to talk about because that is the bulk of our conversation today. Next is relationship, love, and friends. So you all know that we're business partners, and sometimes we bring work into our relationship, but we found out that having a time for discussing our business and also for our personal life was really impactful, because this is kind of by accident, but I told you this, but on our Orlando sourcing trip, we had a lot of downtime and we were able to discuss and have sort of a mini retreat for us, just talking about our journey, how everything has been going. And it just coincidentally also was toward the end of the year. So we were able to reflect, and I really like that. And I encourage you, if you have a partner in life, in business, to kind of give yourself that time to rest and also reflect. And it doesn't have to be an entire weekend of going somewhere different. It could be just making time for yourself and putting it on the calendar so that you know this is the time that you are going to dedicate and be focused on just your partner, and what you want to accomplish from that should be written down. So this year we're trying to do more of those type of retreats, probably once a quarter. I don't know if that's too optimistic, but I do want to do more of those type of I guess you can call it couples retreat. Okay, so the next area in life, we talked about 3 already. The next one is fun and happiness, and give yourself a score from 1 to 10. Again, what would your score be in terms of fun and happiness? Do you think you need to work on that a little bit more? Do you think you've had way too much fun? I don't think any of us will ever give ourselves and that credit, because you guys are like me. You're always on the go, work, and you never give yourself enough credit for the things that you have already accomplished, right? And I think that we kind of have to go back and look at, again, all of the camera roll that you have on your phone, see what you've already accomplished, all the fun and happy things that you've done with your family, with your friends, with just helping with yourself, to let go of some of the stress that you have in everyday life. Because if we don't make room for and make it a priority, you know what's going to happen? we're just going to get all burnt out. And again, we're not going to be able to accomplish what we have set out to do because there's going to be a lot of that brain fog. So treat yourself. Sometimes it's okay to treat yourself, but don't go overboard, especially if you're on a budget and you're trying to get to like financial stability, which a lot of you guys are in the according to the chat that you've been telling me that you're trying to become more financially free, to grow, to scale. This is going to require a lot of focus, but always make time for yourself, make time for fun, and make time for happiness. And last but not least is spirituality, your purpose and your meaning in life. I am not going to talk a lot about that because we all come from all different walks of life. So whatever that means for you, try to make room for that as well in 2024, okay? So again, give yourself a number from 1 to 10 in all of the areas in your life, in these 4 areas. But we're going to talk specifically about financial and how to manage your business, specifically with Amazon. So you guys like my new board? I'm going to try something different instead of just having you look at like a PowerPoint, but this is something that I'm going to start writing. So hopefully you can follow along with me, but we talked about what we did last year. So we were reflecting, but if you already have your word of the year, then you probably already did this exercise and reflect on 2023. But the next exercise I want you to do is that, oh, Lisa noticed the pod sticker. How cute. Yeah, my sister made me this like 3 years ago and I still have it. Thanks for noticing that, Lisa. So what I want you to do next is start dreaming, okay? So we're going to be going down a big dream. And I want you to dream big. I don't want you to have just like, oh, I want to be able to buy that next big thing or the car. I want you to dream big. And I'll tell you why, because I have been dreaming about quitting my job before we did it 4 years ago. I have been dreaming about that for a number of years. And before that, the dream came from me just driving to my mom's house every single day and also looking at like big houses. And I was like, I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to provide for my family. And that was very materialistic of me, but I dreamt really big. I wanted to be able to just walk in to my boss and say, I want to give in my 2 weeks notice. And I manifested that every single day for about 1.5 years when my son was being taken care of by my mom. And I realized that I did that and it scared me a little bit, but I dreamt really big. So I want you to be able to dream and I want you to be the driver in your life. So you have to be the one to take the wheel, okay? Take the wheel in your life and realize that there are things that you need to do in order to achieve this big dream. And I'm not talking about, like I said, I want you to dream big. Like, what is the thing that you cannot achieve? Like, why don't you tell me? He has some big dreams. My husband always tell me that he's like, why can't we just do the thing that you want to do? I was like, well, that's kind of outside of our attainability. But we was like, I think we can do it. And one of the huge, I forgot exactly what I said. I think I said I want to go to Bora Bora for our 20th anniversary or something like that. And I told myself, like, I can't do that. But he said, why not? We're on the road to do that, right? So what was another really crazy thing that I said? And you said, just do it. I can't remember exactly. Do you?
No, I can't.
But okay, so I think what I said this year was I wanted to travel a lot. And I never in a million years thought that I can go to 3 different countries this year. We met like probably 20 different people in the Facebook group in person doing the sourcing trip and the meetups. And we have some planned for next year. But all of that came true because we had a dream and we really made it into fruition by setting systems. So by taking the wheel, instead of setting goals, I think the most important thing we need to do is set systems. Okay. So building a system will help you get to your dream. Okay. So a lot of people just set goals, and I think goals are great, but the way that you get to your big dream is by laying out a system that works for you. Something that worked for us may not work for you. And I want to, I'll talk about that in a little bit with our business, because a lot of people try to mimic what we do, and sometimes it does not work for you because we are in a different circumstance, right? So systems, what does that mean? This means that if you are just trying to get into Amazon, and let's say you're brand new and you're like, I want to quit my job. Okay, great. How do you get there? What are you going to do to get you to your dream of quitting your job? So the first thing is to kind of break it down, right? So how many hours do you need per day? How much money do you need to invest? Do you have enough time, right? And do you want it enough for it to happen? So make sure that before you jump into anything, you need to break down the areas of your life, which we talked about earlier. What do you need help with the most? Because we are one person and our life makes up of so many different parts and areas that if one of it is not up to par, then you need to fix that first before you jump into another aspect, because career, money is just one part of your life. And I had to learn this again the really hard way last year, because I was just focusing on, okay, we need to make more money, but I was neglecting a lot of other things that I think was also sort of the pillars of my life. And that really come back to bite me in the butt. Okay, excuse my language, but it took a lot for me to realize that I need to improve on other aspects of my life. Okay, so building system, not goals. So let's go to now talk about how we can build this business that we call Amazon. All right, so let's say you want to make $100,000, and we talked about these numbers. I want to give $100,000 because it's an easy rounded number. Right? So $100,000 in profit is probably a good income for a lot of people around the world, especially in this country. I think the median income is about $50,000. So $100,000 is way above median income. I know inflation is crazy these days, but let's just play along here. Let's say you want to make 100, and we or everybody who is there, feel free to chime in if I'm making some math mistake, because I'm not a math wizard, so I probably will need help here. Okay, let's say you want to make $100,000 in profit. Okay. So how much do you think we need to sell in order to make $100,000 in profit? Give me 1 second. I'm going to use a black pen. This is easier to read. Okay, Jamie say about $500,000 in sales. Okay, 300,000. Okay, we're getting there. 300. Okay. So how did you guys get to that number? 500 and 300. It depends on the cost. Yes, yes. Lisa said $450,000. I like that number. So for everyone's business is different, and sometimes you may the sales will depend on your profit margin. Okay, if you don't mind, can you explain what profit margin is?
So profit margin is just a percentage of how much you sold and how much you're taking home. So for us, we go with something around 25% profit margin. So in this case, if you're looking to take home about $100,000 in a year, and your average profit margin is about 25%, you're going to need to make $400,000 in sales. So sales meaning that's how much Amazon would have to sell. And then the margins go down from $400,000 all the way down to $100,000 after you factor in the cost of the item, after you factor in how much Amazon charges you, after you factor in a lot of your expenses to get that sale actually made. So of course we know that we don't, for every dollar we sell on Amazon, we definitely don't keep that dollar. So one way to think about it is that 25% profit margin means for every dollar you sell on Amazon, you're going to take home a quarter. So hopefully that clears things up.
Yeah. So depending on your profit margin, so Jamie took about 20%, which is 500,000. We did 25%. So for us, it's about $400,000 in sales. Right? In sales. So this will give us $100,000 in profit per year. Okay. So in order to make $400,000 in sales, let's break it down even further to ask ourselves, how much do we need to make per month? So this one will be about, so $400,000 divided by 12, what did we get? About $33,000 per month, right? So that's how much you need to make in sales per month in order to get to $400,000 in sales, in order to get to $100,000 in profit. Okay, so $33,000 in sales per month. The reason why we took 25% profit margin is because we have employees, we have to break down all of the equipment and supplies that we have, and we also have a warehouse. So we kind of took all of that out. This is the amount of money, 25% goes into our pocket, right? After everything is said and done. Okay, so $33,000 per month in sales already take into account all of the supplies and all the things that we need to kind of run our business operationally, and also payroll as well. Okay, so yours can be higher. Your profit margin could be 30%, 40% if you are doing everything yourself, which I don't recommend. But sometimes when we're just starting out, we have to do everything in order to keep more of the profit, right? All right, so $33,000 per month in sales. So let's just say our average cost for the product that we're selling on Amazon, the customer is buying from us about $20. So the price on Amazon for the majority of our product is about $20 on average. Wait, so $20, which is how much do we need to sell per month? How many units do we need to sell per month in order to make $33,000? So this is how much our product is selling for. So the price on Amazon. Okay. Roughly $20 per unit. And our goal is to get to 33K per month. Okay, Jamie said 1650. Can we see our profit margin on Amazon from the prior year? You can see it, Lisa, if you have certain tools. We use Inform to see all of our profit margin. So you might need an extra tool, but if you get the reports from Amazon, you can break it down as well. We just like to kind of see it all in one place using Informed. Jamie says 1655. Okay, so that is correct. So you would need about 1,600 products per month. So you need to sell 1,600 units per month in order to make $33,000 in sales, right? So this is saying that you have 1,600 different products that sells 1 unit per month, which is probably unlikely. Anyone here have products that sell only 1 unit a month? Or how many units per month does your typical product sell? For us, it's about 30 units a month. So normally one of our items will sell about one per day. Sometimes it only sells one every other day. So, but most of the time, the products that we have sells roughly 30 units per month. Okay, so if I have a product that sells 30 units per month, how many products do I need in order to get to 1,600 units per month? This is a lot of math, you guys. I know it might be a little too early for some of you, but stay with me, okay? Because there's a reason for my madness. So let's just say, of course, 1,600 units, different units per month is a lot to keep in inventory. 48, thank you, Karen. So you really only need about 48 to 50 products per month. Different products, okay? So you only need about 50 products per month that sells 30 units per day. I'm sorry, that sells 30 units per month in order to get to your $33,000 in sales. Of course, this number, if this changes, then this will change, and this will change, then everything changes. But I'm just saying, on average, our price is about, what is that? On average, our price on Amazon is about $20. So if you have an item that sells more than this and you're taking home more profit, then I would say you need even less number of products per month. So our magic number here is about 50 different products per month. Okay, that sells about 30 units a month. And this is not hard to find, you guys. Okay, this is a product that you can probably go to a store, and in about a day, you can find a handful of these items that sells 30 units a month. Do you guys agree with me? There are a lot of products that will sell about 30 units a month. So how do you get to this? Who here is sort of in the product research stage? Who here is sort of like in the beginning and trying to build up their reserve? I see a lot of people earlier saying they're trying to scale. And Missy, okay, so you're looking for a product. A lot of people, I think the hardest part about getting here is to find the products and to do the research, but it's also the most important part of this whole system. In order to kind of break things down bit by bit, you also need to realize how long is it going to take you to get to this number of products, because when you're just starting out, you might take months, right, in order to find this number of products. But that's okay, because you're learning a lot along the way, as I did when I was first doing product research. I think it took me about a month to find like 20 products, and that's me doing it manually in the store. But I learned from all of this is that I really like doing product research. It was really fun for me to go into the store, to be able to scan products and to go shopping. But eventually I found out that it was not, my revenue was not growing, even though I was putting in more hours, right? So you're welcome, Misty. Yeah, so I think seeing this is going to give you a better vision of what you need to do next, right? So let me know, what are you going to do next in order to get to where you want to be, whether that be $100,000 in profit, or that be quitting your job, or doubling your revenue, whatever you want to do. What is your next step? Because I think that is something that a lot of people struggle with, right? So you want to find what is the next big step for you and set a timeline for that. So within the next quarter, so right now we're in January, February, March, these 3 months, what are you going to do? Are you going to start learning how to do product research? Or are you going to, you know how to do product research already, now you just want to add more hours? And in order to do that, you need to spend time figuring out the time that you need and that you can get. Because you're working 40 hours, it's going to be very hard for you to do this, right? And earlier I mentioned that our story is different. It's because when we first started doing this, I was working part-time. I was pregnant, and was gotten let go from his job. And we had the time. We were able to dedicate 40, 80 hours total in this business because it worked out for us. I then gave birth to my daughter, and I was on maternity leave. So I had another 20 hours a week to spare. So figure out what is it that you need next and what you're going to do to get to this goal. I had a comment from Catherine. I'm doing private label, but I also want to do arbitrage. Yeah. So for anyone who's new and kind of just starting out with FBA, I'm going to give you I'm going to paint a picture for you, because a lot of people that you're probably listening to, and there is a lot of information out there, don't get me wrong. When Amazon used to be brand new, there was a lot of people doing FBA, but there weren't as many as there is now. And the pandemic brought a lot more sellers into the marketplace. So it is a lot more difficult now, but I want to give you some encouragement that this is still a sustainable business, because last week or a couple of days ago, I had a member in the pods message me and say, I follow your system, Amy, and I was able to get to 100K last year. He got to 100K, and it was amazing to see that, because I think they just started within the last year as well. So it's definitely attainable if you put in the work. And the reality of this business is that it's going to take a lot of work. It's not as passive as a lot of people make it out to be. But once you put in the work in the beginning, I think that all of that will pay off. And you'll see that, yes, you will start making that residual income, but you always need to continually add more products to your inventory, because things changes. There will always be more people joining, and sometimes that product may not be selling as well anymore. So it's very important and crucial for you to continue adding products and doing the learning that it takes in order to get the right research and the right products into your hands. What else happens? Okay, so when we had the warehouse, do you guys know how much returns we had and how much items went missing? You're in charge of the warehouse, so you remember all of the time that we had to kind of keep track of the store didn't send us the right product, it got lost, right?
Yeah, so it was kind of a lot of moving parts to it. And obviously, as you scale up, everything becomes magnified. So, once upon a time, we did have this big warehouse space, we had workers and everything. And it's really the same thing that you're doing before by yourself, but now you kind of have to outsource and teach people, basically, share with your knowledge with them in order how to kind of get all the pieces working together.
Yeah, so there will be a lot of challenges and a lot of obstacles for you. And you, just like any business, things will start coming up, these obstacles. But the way that you will succeed is, how are you going to make that work for you, and how are you going to overcome those obstacles, right? Most people will probably just give up. If they were in our shoes, I'm pretty sure they're just going to fold the book and said they're going to call it quits. But we were able to make it work and made it a sustainable business for us. Catherine is saying, where do you find your products if you're not going into the stores and scanning products anymore? So we still have a number of products in the store, but we did more online arbitrage, and we started to add wholesale products. So for anyone who aren't aware or haven't heard of online arbitrage, is similar to retail arbitrage, where you're going to store, buying things for a lesser price, reselling it for a profit. But there are opportunities online, and I was able to find a lot of different stores that sells the product I was looking for. And sometimes online you can find coupons, you can do cashback, and it makes it the deal a lot better. So I like to do it because you're at home, you don't have to go anywhere. So 3.5, 4 years ago, people were asking me if I can help them find products, and to the best of my ability, I was able to, but then it started to expand into something that was beyond my imagination, which earlier Kelly kind of pointed out, like, what is this sticker? This is the pods. So we call this a pod because it looks like a pea pod. You guys see that? And these are all the products that we share in the pod. So it's just a group of ladies who kind of pitch in a certain amount so that we give you a list of products, including where to find it and where to buy it. So we just left the link if you guys are interested. I think today is the last day that you can redeem the code that we have for the winter sale. The code is, oh gosh, I forgot, best year. I don't remember. Can you find the code in?
Yeah, I'll find the code. I'll post
Yeah, I
it.
posted it a couple of days ago, but you guys can still. New
Oh, here
Year
we go.
24. There you go. Thank you, Lisa. So if you use that code, you get 30% off of your first month. So that's how we got started with doing sort of moving away from retail sourcing and into more online sourcing. How
If
much
you
money?
want to, sorry to interrupt, but if you want to share your screen and open up the Amy's Pod page, I just want to kind of share a new feature. It's going to be a surprise to you too, so you're not aware of this. So, but I think you're going to enjoy it.
Okay. Okay, let me go ahead and stop my screen share.
Yeah, so I just rolled this out. So Amy's Pod's been around for years, and people have always been kind of curious, I think, like what it looks like when you are a subscriber or a member of the pods. And I actually threw together what I call like a preview page. And we have many different types of pods, and it can be a little bit daunting to kind of decide which one's right for you. But in each pod, you'll see a little new link now called preview the pod page. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
If you click on that, and it shows you a live preview of product leads that our team is actually sharing with subscribers. Obviously, we've removed all the data from it because this is just a free preview. But once you do subscribe to any of these pods, you do unlock everything from the title of the product. You'll be able to see the exact ASIN, links to the Amazon listing, and also links to where you source it from. So you get all the information there. But if you kind of want to see exactly, what products we're sharing with our subscribers on a daily basis, this is the way to do it. And these are actually real numbers. Those ROIs and those profit numbers are actually real numbers. And you can click through the different pods and you kind of see the different items that we do share with each pod.
Yeah, so I just clicked on the beginners pod, but there are others, like in Canada, if you're selling in the Canada marketplace, intermediate. So this is really cool. I think we've been talking about kind of giving people a preview of what you'll see for a while. So I'm glad you were able to do this. I'm very impressed.
I've actually been on my to-do list for quite a while. So
okay, so I see another question. Marquita, do you have a training for wholesale? I've done wholesale training in the past, Marquita, but I can do it again if you like. So I can put that on my to-do list for sure. We have another question. How much money do you recommend starting with as a minimum? So let's go back to our $100,000 in profit here. So when we are talking about how much we need to spend in order to get to this goal, maybe you don't want to get to this goal yet and you don't need to spend as much, but in order to get to this number, we need to, with a 35% ROI. Okay, Jamie? Let's say you want your products is returning you about 30% return on investments. Okay. How much do you think you're going to need in order to get to $100,000 in profit? This is a 35% ROI. Sorry, I'm not mathing really well right now. So if anyone wants to double check me, a little bit off topic. Yes, Kelly, Lisa, I see a few other questions. I'm going to get to you, Dominique. Yep. Okay, so $100,000 in profit. at a 35% ROI, you're going to need about $285,000 invested. Okay. I don't know about you guys, but I don't have that much money lying around. And this is so that you don't need to, run into debt. This is money that you have. But if you break this down per month and also break this number down, let's say you don't want to get to this number yet per year. You can maybe get to this next year, but let's say you don't have to get to this yet. Let's say you only need to make $50,000 this year in profit, $200,000 in sales. You need roughly about half of that. Okay, so does that make sense for you? Who asked that question? Jamie. Okay, so that's why a lot of people are kind of unrealistic when they're doing this. You're welcome, because they think that, oh, I can make $400,000, but I only have $500 to $1,000 to start. You can get here. Don't get me wrong. You can get to that number, but it's going to take you a lot longer. So just kind of give yourself remember the SMART goal. The R in SMART is realistic. Make it realistic for yourself, and you'll see that your results will follow that, and it will reflect how much you are able to spend on the business realistically, so that you don't get discouraged when things aren't working out. Because Amazon is a very cash heavy business, especially if you're trying to sell physical products. We have 15 minutes left, and I want to talk about something other than FBA, because the topic today is how to grow your business and diversify your income stream so that you don't need to worry about just putting all your eggs in one basket, right? Dominique, I see a lot of complaints about inaccuracy and inconsistency about the pause. Have you been addressed? Yes, we have talked to our team about this, and we have addressed every single issue that we've had. So thank you for bringing that up. A lot of people wanted to do wholesale, so I will put that in the to-do, and we can have that topic later in the year. Would you be putting together a discussion about the new Amazon low inventory? I can, Lisa. I'm not sure we have a whole live about that, but we can certainly address that in like a Q&A session. Where can I see the recording? We'll have this recording up. I'm going to email you. So if you are signed up for this live, then you'll get an email from me later about how to get the recording. A lot of people are making less in a year, starting with thousands of dollars and rolling it over. Yes. So you're just going to have to take all the profit that you make and put it into your business again if you want to see it grow at a faster rate, right? Okay. So besides FBA, I mentioned earlier, I kind of alluded to other revenue streams that we have. And one of it is called Amazon Influencer Program. Has anyone ever heard of that? The Amazon Influencer Program? So this program is somewhat new. It has been around for a few years now, but it's still in the infancy stage, where I think there's a lot of opportunity here. We started doing it and we were shocked with the results that we got. And granted that we are somewhat of an influencer, you guys are listening to us, so we have some presence on the internet. But if you guys have like a TikTok account, Instagram, YouTube with maybe 100 followers or subscribers, you can apply to this program. And what this program does is that you start reviewing products, start with all the items that you have in your house. So the first criteria for this is to have a social media account, okay? And it has to be a social media account with engagement. So you can't just apply with any account. You need something with some type of engagement. And the next thing after you got accepted into the influencer program, you need to apply to get on-site commission. This is where you're going to make the bulk of your money when people buy your products by watching your reviews. Okay, on-site commission is anywhere between 2 to 10%. Okay. We fall somewhere between here, about 4%. But we really like this because we have so many products that we purchase on Amazon, as you all probably do as well in your house, right? Who here buy products on Amazon? So you start by reviewing the products that you have on Amazon. And then you make a video. Review products with videos. Okay, so this is also good if you're an introvert and you don't like to be on screen. You don't need to show your face. You can just record the product itself. So we were able to kind of got started around October, and we didn't buy any product. We went around our house and started making videos of every single product that we have purchased on Amazon. And it doesn't have to be products that you purchase on Amazon. It could be something you purchase on Walmart, but they sell on Amazon. So we bought, some this trash can thing that we have in our kitchen, and our commission on that has already been like $20 to $30, and we didn't really have to buy anything because we already had it in our house. And that one was about $6 every time it sells, and that item sells about 200, 300 units a month. Of course, not everyone watches our video because people need to watch our video in order for us to get that commission. But we had about let's see, how many videos did we do the first month, you would say? Like 60 videos or something like that.
Yeah, probably like 2 a day, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. So we started our first month, okay, you guys, doing about 60 videos of items around our house. And our commission again was around 3-4%. And our first full month on Amazon was November. We took home about $1,200. And this is we don't have to, this is like our pocket money, the thing. I mean, of course, you still have to pay taxes on this, but for doing the products that we already had in our house, we didn't have to purchase any new products. I mean, granted, November is Q4, so take it as it is. We were able to, even if it was half of this, you guys, this is profit. I mean, this is everything that we had. And of course, since then, we started adding more products. Right now, we have about 150 videos, and we're seeing consistent income. And that is really cool. You have to be accepted. Sylvia, yes, you do have to be accepted in this program. So, to be accepted in this program, you need to have a social media account. And then you need to apply one more time to get on-site commission. And in order to get here, you need to upload 3 videos that meets their criteria, and they will rate you and then come back and say, okay, you got into on-site commission. Now you can start making video reviews. Okay, so it's simple, but it's also, it also takes a little bit of work. But I think this is one of the best untapped market that now a lot of people are talking about. So what videos do you make? What program do you use? Oh, Lisa, I use my phone. We don't have any fancy equipment, to be completely honest with you. We haven't invested in anything. The other day, I bought a microphone, like one of those wireless ones, just because the one I have right now is broken. So I replaced that, and we're going to make a review for that. So a lot of these items are things that I'm going to buy anyway, and I'm going to make a review for it. But again, in order to grow with this, it requires a lot of research also. So you're going to, at one point, exhaust all the products that you have in your home, right? So you're not going to be able to just, you can go to your friends or your family's house, but at some point you're going to not have any more products to review. That's when you're gonna have to start purchasing new products. And I want you to make very informative decisions on the new products that you're investing in. So the cool thing about this is it's also evergreen. So once you uploaded the video, it's there. So next year, guess what? These videos are still going to be making us money, right? As long as it's available on Amazon and that listing is making sales. So I think this is really cool. So I wanted to also show you that there's another program that we're also looking into. I don't want to talk about it yet because we're still trying to discover about it before we want to get the results before we talk about it. But if everything goes well this year with that, I'm definitely going to let you all know. So last but definitely not least, okay? Last but not least, I want you all to ask this question. What are you going to I want you all to ask this question for yourself. I want you to be honest with yourself. And these are only 3 questions that will help motivate and propel you in the right direction. What are you not going to do in 2024? So we talked about what happened in 2023, right? For us, I think I took on way too many responsibilities, not due in 2024. And I think I want to slow down on some of my commitments. I want to be more present, so I'm not going to be on my phone half the time. I've already put my phone away. A lot of people, I think, start out the year really strong, including myself. I'm talking about myself too. In January, we're doing everything correctly, but then February comes around and we already forgot about our goals. If that's you, please let me know. I'm not alone. So I want to set the systems in place, which is why what I do at night is I put my phone in a different room so I don't get tempted to look at my phone while I'm with my kids. What am I not going to do in 2024 is, I wrote it down earlier. I'm not going to let the small things bother me, because I think that happened a lot for me. And as a people pleaser, I think that it was really hard for me to not take things personally, but sometimes things are out of your control. And if you let it bother you, it's going to do just that. Okay. So there are going to be little things that happen with you as well. So try not to let it get to you, but you might not have, the small things fret for you. So if that's you, then all the power to you. But for me, it was very hard to, especially when you have a social media presence, to not let certain things get to you. But for me this year, I have decided that I'm going to do the best that I can to serve the community that we have here on Facebook and just give it my best. And I think the results and everything will show from that. What people say is just their opinion. Lastly is I'm not going to try to multitask, because guess what? I was trying to write this and talk to you guys and I couldn't do it. Our brain is not wired to do 2 things at the same time. I could not write and talk at the same time. Of course, there are things that you do on a normal basis and it's like second nature to you, like you're folding your laundry and you're listening to a podcast and music, that's fine. But I'm talking about trying to do 3, 4, 5 things at the same time. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like I'm trying to exercise and in my mind, I'm like, oh, I can squeeze in a podcast, but I'm not focusing on my exercising routine. That's just one of the things that I'm going to not do this year, okay? Number 2, what are you going to continue to do? And again, I did not come up with this, you guys. Mel Robbins is. I'm going to give her all the credit for this because she is so cool. You have to check her out. Again, Mel Robbins, very highly sought after motivational speaker, writer, everything under the sun. Okay, so continue doing. What are you going to continue doing this year to help you get to your goals? I'm going to continue to look for new income streams, and I already told you guys that we have like 4 or 5 multiple streams of income on and off Amazon. So this is a combination. So I'm not relying on just one thing. When my husband got let go of his job 4 years ago now, I was devastated. And it kind of got to me where I was like, we cannot let this happen to us again, because he actually got let go 3 years before that when I was pregnant. Every time I got pregnant, something happens. So I told myself that we need to find different ways so that we don't just rely on a job. It's okay to have a job and a business and a side hustle and something that works for you even when you're not working. It's okay to work on your hobbies and make that hobby make money for you, okay? So think about ways that you can diversify. Maybe there's something that I'm missing here and you can let me know. But that's what I'm going to continue doing, is to explore more ways to increase our income, but also diversify our income streams. Okay. Next is the third question is, what are you going to start doing this year? What are you going to start doing this year? I'm going to start saying no to a lot of things. And I think that's kind of go back to what am I not going to do? I'm not going to say yes, but I'm going to start. I mentioned to you guys what we're going to do to continue our revenue stream. So I'm getting out of my comfort zone here, and I'm going to start this other new income stream, which has something to do with Amazon. But it is something I've never done before, and I'm really nervous about it. I'm kind of building up all of this anticipation, which I think I'm putting it out there so that it can become, a fruition for me, because I don't want to disappoint you guys. Okay. So I know that I need to get out of my comfort zone. And last year, one of my things that I wanted to do was to do more meetups, to speak, and to be able to just do a lot of in-person events. And that happened for me. But this year, I'm actually going to be speaking at one of the workshop breakout session at Prosper, you guys. So who here have been to Prosper or have heard about Prosper? Oh, Lisa, I'm just saying, I complain about my teenagers and their phones, and I'm constantly on my phone. We do that too with our 7-year-old. We're like, okay, screen time only an hour a day. Wow, we're on our screen like 5 hours a day. It's okay, we're allowed to. But I know the hypocrisy when it comes to the things that we say is not the things that we do. There's a word for that, and I can't remember what it was, but it's not consistent, right? So we want to be mindful of that. Teresa said, I'm not going to skip exercise more than one day. Perfect. Yes. If you skip your routine or whatever you do, sometimes we have a break day, and that's okay. But don't make it more than one day, because then that will become a habit. So you don't want to break a good habit like exercising. I walk every single day for the last 10 months. And sometimes I might miss a day, but for the most part, I have been able to do it consistently because it's something that I really enjoy doing. I used to think that I was a runner, but guess what? I can't run if it was to save my life. I hate running, but I can walk. I can walk a mile a day. I can walk 2 miles a day, no problem. And that's something that I can do, even if it's cold, raining outside, snowing. That's something that I have committed to myself. And I told myself that I'm not going to skip more than one day. And I love that you said that, Teresa. So yeah, so we're going to be, I don't want to say this yet because it's not official, but it's pretty much, it's pretty close. We will be at the Prosper Show in March 4th in Vegas. So if any of you guys are planning to go there, please come and say hi. Yeah, Dominique, I can't run. It's just not, I mean, maybe jogging, if that. Yeah, it's not in my DNA, but I can walk any day. So yeah, if you guys are going to the Prosper Show, please let me know, because I would love to do a meetup. We are doing a women's meetup before the show starts, and we'll be chatting, and will be a lot of fun. I bet you it will be. Prosper is a show that has been around for many years now. Let me share my screen with you and I can talk more about that. But this is mostly for my private label people out there. if you have been doing private label for a while, you probably heard of it already. The Prosper Show this year is March 4th to 6th. And why can I find it? Because I spelled it incorrectly. March 4th to March 6th in Vegas. And here are the information. We're going to be doing our women's meetup on March 4th, right before the show starts at 11:30 in one of the workshop rooms. So right after the Prosper Show, there's the ASD show, which is where you get to meet with all the vendors. I'll leave the link here because I think somebody had a question about it. Teresa, I think you have a question about when it is. So if you are coming, I would love to meet you all. Last time we went to another show with Alibaba and we met a few women sellers, which I think was really cool. So yeah, this is probably the last thing that I have to say. And I think we are doing really good with time. So I hope you all find this helpful. These are the 3 questions I want to leave you with, because I think that it will make a huge difference. Write it down. All this is recorded, but if you have to write one thing down, write down what you're going to not do, what you're going to continue, and what you're going to start doing in 2024 to make it your best year yet, okay? I'm praying for you all, and I am ecstatic for what this year is going to bring, because I think it's going to be amazing. Follow your big dreams that we talked about earlier. Don't get sidetracked. Focus is another thing that I want to do, and I encourage you to take the steps to do it as well. Jamie, yay, you're going to be at the Prosper Show. Awesome. Oh, you're welcome, Lisa. Thank you so much. You all are amazing, and I want you to remember that, and I want you to hold me accountable for the things that I say, because I know that if I put it out there, it's more likely to happen. So that 3rd revenue stream on Amazon, I'm working on it. And with that, I think I'm going to leave you all. I'll send out the replay within a day or 2. I will let you know when we have the next live. Don't know the topic yet, but a lot of people want to do wholesale, so we probably will talk about that next. I'm trying to do more lives and put more effort into it. So I'm going to do less lives. So it used to be once per week. We might have to cut it down to about twice a month. So once every 2 weeks, just because I want to put more substance and more material for you all to take home and make it, how do I say this? I just want to make it worth your time coming. So I don't want to just do more, but it's not quality work. So I'm going to try to do less, but better. Okay. All right. You're welcome. Oh my gosh, you guys are so sweet. Thank you so much for giving us some of your time today. We'll see you next time. And I hope that you all take what I say, go and run with it, and make 2024 your best year yet. All right. We'll talk with you soon. Bye.